A city boy on the farm. Peter Smith was an Australian boy. He lived in a big city with his parents. Unfortunately, when Peter was 8 years old, both his parents passed away. So, Peter was sent to live with his uncle and aunt in the country. They owned a farm with a lot of animals. As Peter had always lived in the city, he was not used to animals. He didn't like to go near them. He was afraid of horses the most. They seemed so big and powerful. His uncle noticed this and gave him a small, well-mannered horse called Lightfoot. But Peter couldn't get rid of his fear. Every time he got on the horse, he trembled. He couldn't ride well. This made his uncle sad because he wanted Peter to inherit the farm after him. One day, Peter's uncle and aunt had to visit a sick neighbor. The two farmhands, John and Rob, were working in the fields. Peter was left alone in the house. It was a very warm day. There had been no rain for some time. Peter walked towards the garden to get some air. Suddenly, he saw smoke coming out from the field of grass behind the stables. Peter realized it could be the beginning of a forest fire. He knew such fires were dangerous and could burn the land for many miles. Peter knew the horses were in the stables. He realized he had to save them somehow. Peter began to lead them out one by one, all the time talking to them softly to keep them calm. Finally, the horses were safe in the front field. But the fire was getting bigger. Peter began to bring buckets of water and throw on the burning grass. The smoke hurt his eyes, and he felt tired, yet he didn't stop. Suddenly he heard the hoofs of a horse and saw John riding into the garden. "Brave boy," he said. We saw the smoke and Rob went to get help. But someone must bring the sheep home. Otherwise, they might wander off to the forest. "Can you ride Lightfoot and bring them back?" John asked. Peter jumped onto the horse and rode to the fields. It was a difficult job and it took a long time. By the time he brought them home, the fire had been put out. His uncle was at the door waiting for him. "You are a wonder, Peter. You saved my horses," he said. "Did they hurt you?" he asked. "No, they didn't," Peter said, "and I am not afraid of them anymore." Now, children, read the story and find the answers to the questions given in workbook and textbook. Some letters in English language make more than one sound. Letter A is an example. It makes many different sounds, as you can see here in the phonetic symbols. Let's read them one by one. Sound A, as in at. A, father. A, about. A, many. O, wash. O, as in all. Now let's see some more words given in your textbook. Wonder, wander. Worm, warm. word, ward, work, walk, want, won, wash, what, wall. Here you can see letter A makes two different sounds. O as short vowel sound and O as long vowel sound. Now let's find rhyming words to these words from the words given earlier. Blunder, wonder. Term, worm. Tall, wall. Perk, work. Sword, ward. Herd, word. Ponder, wonder.